Hi yogis, this is Kristen Sassy from my Sassy Pants Yoga home studio. Still on the quest to find the perfect mask for taking and teaching yoga. Remember to hit subscribe because that'll help keep these videos going. All right, I was recently recommended to try a halo mask and I have one right here. Here's the review for the halo mask. These are pretty pricey, made in the USA, good product, $34.95. Comes with a packet of clear directions because this comes with a filter. Now I want to point out, there is a disclaimer. It is a non-medical mask. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. It says non-medical, and there are no conclusive studies to show if this prevents viruses from actually taking hold, but you have to use your common sense on a lot of these things. And common sense is telling me this is a really good mask, very secure. This comes with a filter and very clear and concise directions on how to put the filter in. There is a certain way to put in the filter, very easy to follow, and they even provide you with a video on their website on how to put the filter. It was pretty easy to put in, but just for the sake of keeping this video a little bit shorter, I'm going to go ahead and just show you that there is a filter inside of this. These last about 2 to 4 weeks. And this extra filtration is a little extra security that makes me feel a little bit better as someone who feels a little bit more vulnerable during this pandemic. There's also a little nose grip for the bridge of the nose, which is amazing for the fit. So let's put this guy on. Here's how you adjust it. You adjust it not by pulling on the toggle, you hold the toggle and you actually pull on the string to make the adjustment to put it on. So putting this on allows for a pretty secure fit. You'll see underneath the chin. They recommend putting it from the chin up. I probably put it on just a little bit wrong, but it's really hard to put this on wrong as long as the nose bridge is exactly where it's supposed to be. There's also a little wire for the bridge that makes it really secure, and that little nose padding. The nose padding is amazing if you wear glasses. So here's my little fog test. Nothing. So great if you wear glasses. That's not even part of the criteria that I weigh for having a yoga mask, but it's something that I really appreciate as someone who wears glasses to read. All right, so you can probably tell that my speech is pretty audible in this. That is the next test. The fit is amazing. This firmly passes the fit. It's so secure around the chin, around the nose. No air, feels like it's coming out, and there's a filtration. I still feel like I have air to breathe. And the muffle test. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter better. I compare this to the mask that I'm teaching in, and I have to say that it's pretty similar. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. To the one that is very, very light, made by a yoga clothing company, but this one's a lot more secure. So if you're looking for something that seems a lot safer, this would be the way to go if you're looking for safety and security. So is it cool? That's the next test as a yoga teacher, because I teach sometimes classes that are 95, 105 degrees. There is an air. I can breathe in this fairly easily, but the real test is, what does it do when it's really hot outside or really humid in a room? So I'm going to put this to the test, and I'm going to come back and finish this video, and we're going to find out. Okay, I'm back. And I've tried this mask, and I was really, really pleased with it. So just a couple hours after I did the first half of this review, I went to a 95-degree vinyasa class, and I tested out the mask. And it is the very first time that I was able to get through an entire class walking in the door and not taking off the mask. Now, I want to remind people that CDC regulations are that you must socially distance with your mat. So the studio that I practiced at has everything carefully laid out on where to put your mat. Once you get on your mat, you're allowed to take off your mask, but if you leave your mat for any reason, you have to put your mask on. The goal here is to leave the mask on the entire time while I practice, because I want to stay safe. I want to keep other people safe, and studies are showing that you're actually keeping yourself safe too if you're wearing the right mask. And this was really a surprise. And I will tell you why. You know, at first impression, I thought it would be a little hot because of the fabric, the interior fabric, but it wasn't. And that's because there was enough space for the mouth and the nose, and I felt the circulation of air, and certainly it had something to do with this fabric and the filtration system. So I was able to do it. Not only I didn't hold back on my practice either. I did all my balances, and some of the challenges I've had with practicing in the mask in the past is balancing, number one, because it cuts along the bridge line and it can disrupt the drishti, which is your focusing point on balances. So the first balance was a little sketchy. I was pretty wobbly on the first balance. But then after a while, I acclimated to it and I hit my ego really well. I hit my warrior 3 really well. I only had a little bit of issue with my drinking bird at the very beginning. And for anyone who takes yoga, you're going to know what those postures are. They can be challenging balance postures. So especially important is that I was able to balance and breathe in this mask and really regulate my breathing. And another thing is upside down. So I was able to get upside down in this mask and I had to readjust. What I noticed was every time I went into a downward facing dog, although it does fit really well underneath the chin, I almost feel like there should be this, I'm not sure if I could put this little rubber thing at the bottom of the mask, and there's nothing on the directions that indicates that I should be putting this on the bottom too. There were 2 of them included, and I'm thinking it's to replace the one if it wears out. So I'm wondering if I put that extra one underneath the chin, if maybe it will hold a little bit better and I won't have to readjust it during the practice. But I was still able to do a headstand, a handstand, and my recommendation is when you're trying that stuff out with a mask, if you're going to do that, and once again, CDC does not recommend using a mask, but a lot of us are willing to try, do those inversions against the wall. You know, why take extra risk? Just as a teacher, play it safe, and even if, maybe not do it at all, get used to the mask first. But I'm a pretty experienced yogi and I wanted to try it out. I didn't hold back and I was really, really surprised. I felt cool enough. I didn't feel overheated. So I'm really surprised actually that I was able to keep it on the entire time. Good job, Halo. I was glad I had that extra security. It was the most crowded vinyasa that I had been to yet, even though it was socially distanced and we should be okay. I think the guidelines are working. As long as people are conscientious about masking going into the studio, covering the nose and the mouth, especially that nose. Got to keep the nose covered, and everyone's being conscientious and really doing their part to stay covered and applying the social distance. I do feel like it's working. I feel like people are pretty safe so far. Finally, I noticed it was made in America. Good job, guys. You've done us proud. And then also hit subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing more masks. Reviewing Under Armour next, which I'm very curious about to see how it holds up in the studio. I will definitely try teaching in this mask. It passed the muffle test, so I'll let you know how it goes in the comments section as it evolves. And also I'll be posting this on my blog at sassypantsyoga.com. I also want to mention that I offer virtual classes, so if you're still hesitant to go back to the studio, know that I'm offering things. You can find it on my website, sassypantsyoga.com. I'm offering a lot of passive practice and 1 vinyasa a week online, and the times are as posted according to your website, your web time zone. All right, there's the word. All right, I'm not going to redo this video. I'll be back later. Namaste to all. Stay safe. May you be well. May you be happy.